Hello all my art loving people out there. I am so excited today to dig into my Roman Szmal palette and add this whole bag of new colors into it and update my art journal and my swatch sheet and all of that. So that's what this video today is going to be about, and I'm so glad you're here to join me in it. I am still in Arizona. It is my last day here and it has been cold the past couple days. Therefore, the hat. I do have a furnace here in the camper, but it has been so wet. This paint is actually sticking to each other. And, like, the paper, this is a list I have, it's all soggy in Arizona. Go figure. So, we'll see what the art journal looks like if the paper is soggy in there. I think because it's been closed up, it'll be fine. Let's see. It's fine. It's bendy. So this started out as that red Irit Landgraf palette, basically is what this is. And I put watercolor ground on the top of it and painted it, and then I sprayed it with, I think, Kamar varnish, and it's lasted really well. I've traveled with it a couple of times. I've brought it to class a lot of times. So it's doing pretty good. And then the reason I have all these dots here, which I meant to clean before I left home, was because I was doing this mixing chart. So it's a bit of a mess. I need to clean this up before we add these in. I don't like my palettes to look quite this messy, but all the paint is pretty sticky, especially that Aquarius brown. Anyway, the new colors I have: Cypress Raw Umber Brownish, Urban Gray, Quin Gold Hue, Velvet Black. Ooh, that one's going to be delightful. A lot of these are going to be delightful. Aquarius Violet, October 2023, Autumn Green, and Cobalt Blue. Sweet. And these are the colors I currently have in the palette, so they're going to be great additions. So because these are brand new, they have that wrapper on them, and it's been so humid here in Arizona. That's so weird. Anyway, I'm going to stick these in my freezer here in the camper for just a few minutes while I clean this palette up. And I actually still have the insert in this palette, so I should be able to just pull this whole middle part out, see how it's on that, and run this underwater, so it's super easy to clean that way. It's not going to be as easy when I'm done with it, adding these paints in, but you'll see what that is all about. My initial plan was just to leave these intact and put all the new colors around it, but I usually like to put colors together like blues with blues, and I do have command strips with me. I have double-sided tape with me. I have everything I need. The way these are put on this base is with the command strips. You can see this mineral violet one came apart, but hey, I can use the double-sided tape to put it back together. So anyway, I can put the new colors anywhere I want because I have all the supplies that I need to do whatever I want. So what would you do? Would you rearrange the whole palette, or would you just add in the new colors here and call it good? I am really curious. Let me know in the comments below. And just to show you, a few minutes in the freezer, and let's see. Even the freezer has humidity in it. Oh my goodness, what a mess. Oh boy, everything is humid. So, oh, I dropped it on the ground, so that's useful. Luckily, it's right here. It's right here. Look at that. No problem. I'm sure they will all be that easy, and if not, I'll let you know. I thought you might like to see the new colors. I did just cut my swatch sheet apart. I realized after the first cut, I'm like, oh, but my mixing chart's on the back. But guess what? You know how often I've looked at that mixing chart? Never. Never. So, no big loss there. It was a lot of work and it took a lot of time, but the fun was in making it. New colors. This one is the Quin Gold Hue. It's a PR 102 and a PY 150. And I'm just going to make little squares of these to kind of match that. And I can cut them out, put them in order, and redo my palette like that. That's pretty. This is Fabriano cotton paper, so it's good paper. Just it's very dry paper. Well, it was very dry paper until we got all this rain. Ooh, I like that. This is the cobalt blue, and I didn't write any pigment information on it. Not sure if I just didn't have pigment information or what. Also, it is so humid right now that I cannot get any kind of Sharpie or fine liner. I tried everything I have with me to write on the pans. They're just too moist, to use that word everyone loves. So what I did is I took my double-sided tape and just cut off from the labels themselves and stuck on there for now, since the pans have absolutely no labels on them. I knew if I didn't do that, that I would be in trouble. Okay, so there's a film on this one from the wax. I have to dig through that a little bit. Let me just rinse that off. This is the Aquarius Violet here. Yeah, so if you get Roman Szmal pans and it seems like they're not working, it's just leftovers from that wax paper they put on the top to protect them. So this is a PB29. Wow, okay, I didn't think I had that much paint on the brush, but I did. Back to the pigment information, a PB29, a PV19, and a PR255. I love that color. That's gorgeous. All right, this autumn green has a little bit of that film on it, so I'll kind of grab the edge here so it maybe won't take quite so long. And this one is PG26, trying to make sure that water doesn't fall off onto my yellow. PG26, PY150, and PR122. That is my kind of color there. I love greens. Yeah, this one has that film on the top as well. I didn't notice this at home when I opened these, but I think it's a side effect of the humidity here at the moment, plus maybe putting them in the freezer. I didn't have them in there very long though. This is the October 2023, and if you've seen any other videos, you'll know there is no pigment information for this. This is the Cypress Raw Umber Brownish. This was a gift from one of you. Thank you so much. It's a PBR7. The Cobalt Blue was a gift as well. PBR7. Nice. Got it on my finger. I don't want to ruin my labels. Urban Gray. Need a little bit more water for this one. Urban Gray is a lot of pigments here. PW6, PBR29, PB29, and a PY150. And that became very thick very fast, so grab some water and dilute that out a little so we can actually see its color. So that one's going to be one that goes opaque really quickly. I stuck my finger in that. You probably saw that and you're probably rolling your eyes at me. Oh, wow. Oh, look at the color separation when I added the brush back into that one. Interesting. Okay, this is a Payne's Gray. I bought this one and I did a video on it along with the Caddy Fat book, or the Caddy, however you want to say that. I have featured this color, PBK9, PB27, PR264. Lovely. This last one is Velvet Black. It's PR264 and PG7. Interesting. So this only has red and a green. Love it. Once these dry, I'll cut them out in squares like this and label the back side of them so I don't lose track of which color it is again, and then rearrange the palette. Should be fun. One of my favorite things to do is to make new arrangements of my palette, add in new colors. It's just so fun and relaxing. I believe I found an order I'm happy with. So these 3 rows here will be the top 3 here, and then I'll put these 9 paints here in this section of the palette. There's so much mixing space up here in the lid that losing this is not a big deal. I know a lot of people use this and squeeze out paint anyway, so we're good. And now the super fun part, the new swatch sheet. That one's buff titanium, PW6:1, followed by nickel azo yellow. I'm skipping so that I don't bleed colors into each other. This is a PY150. This next one here will be the actual Quin Gold, the original old Quin Gold, which is the PY150 and the PO48. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. This one is Aquarius Brown. It's a PBR11. I reach for this a lot in the paintings you're going to see in today's video. This one is the Cherry Quinacridone Red, one of my favorites, a PR209. Following this beautiful Cherry Quinacridone Red will be the Magenta. And this one is a PR122, non-granulating and transparent. And that's the dog drinking in the background. Mineral Violet is this one. deep, rich, beautiful violet. It's a PB29 and a PV19. And Jack is very thirsty apparently, and camper is a small space. That one, cobalt teal. Ah, isn't that beautiful? Don't you love it? It's a PG50. This one is ocean blue. It's a PBR 24 and a PB 15:3, and Jack just jumped on the couch if you heard weird noises. Yeah, he is entitled apparently. Duffy doesn't jump on couches without permission. This one is ultramarine light PB 29. I really like the ultramarine and the Roman Szmal. It might be one of my favorite ultramarines. This one's Payne's Gray, PBK9, PB27, and PR264. A 3 pigment color is quite nice. Then I didn't know where to go, so I went to this little slot, Transparent Brown, PBR23. Pretty unique pigment. I really like this one. I also reached for that a lot in the paintings you're going to see in today's video. This one is the Lemon Yellow, PY61. And if you heard another dog drinking, yeah, Duffy decided he wanted a drink of water too. This one is the Quinacridone Gold Hue, one of the new ones, PR102 and a PY150. And this one here is the Cypress Raw Umber Brownish, a PBR7, but an unusual PBR7. One I didn't think that I would reach for very often, but it turns out to be the perfect color when you're painting outdoor scenes. So that one is going to be highly used. That one there is the Potter's Pink, PR233. Very pretty Potter's Pink. It is a grayish Potter's Pink, which I really like. I like colors that lean a little gray. This one is Aquarius Red, PR214. Beautiful red. Next up, we have another very unique color, Misty Morning, PG50 and a PV19. And it's just great for those cloudy skies, distant mountains. I really like that one. I like to mix it with buff titanium too and make it even more cloudier. This one, Aquarius Violet. Holy cow, if you want dark shadows and stuff, you'll see in the paintings I do in this video. It's perfect. PB29, PV19, and a PR255. I know I'm going to have to refill that one a lot. And then one we about missed here is Cobalt Sea Blue, PB28. I use that in a lot of today's paintings as well. Here is Cobalt Blue, PB28. Interesting, they're both PB28s, but they're so different. This one is Prussian Blue, PB23. It's kind of a bright Prussian blue, actually, so I used it in today's paintings, but I have to mute it down a little bit. This one is Autumn Green, PG26, PY150, and PR122. Absolutely gorgeous. So is this one. This is Aquarius Green, PY150, PBR25, and PB29. After this, because the transparent brown is dry, we are going to go to the October 2023, and I found pigment information on the website for this, PBR7 and PV37. So even though the label didn't have any pigment information, that's what it said on Jackson's website. Next, we have Velvet Black. Beautiful color, PR254 and PG7. Don't you just love it? Well, I like blacks. I know many people don't like blacks. I do. This one here is Hooker's Green, PY150, PB27, and Jack is cleaning his paws. So if you hear other weird noises, it's Jack again. Jack is the dog. He is funny. This one is Caput Mortuum, PR102. Next up is this new Urban Gray, PW6, PBR29, PB29, and PY150. That was a mouthful. I had to take a big breath for that one. But it's pretty. I use it a lot. I like it. Aquarius Black, PBK11. You just can't really imagine how granulating this is until you put it next to other blacks or any other color. It's incredibly granulating. Look how pretty they all are. They're just gorgeous. I love them. It's all dry. It looks so pretty. And then I held it up to the window and traced the lines on the backside. I used a ruler as well. And then I've never done this before on the backside where I've been labeling them. I added the color to it, and I really like that. So it's kind of a double swatch sheet, and I think I won't write on this side. Oh, it looks like I got a little paint on it. I'll have to see if I can fix that or not. But anyway, it's all, like, the paper is just kind of staying soggy. I had to put it in the sunshine in order to write on the back side of it. And that worked for a minute, but then it started raining again. It's gonna stay a little soggy probably for a while. Hopefully we get some sunshine tomorrow. We're supposed to. And I was supposed to move to my art journal, but my art journal is really small and everything I paint on it is kind of intricate. If you've missed the last couple of videos where I show that art journal, check those out. I'll have them linked in the corner. And it's just too small to see these colors. I wanted to see these colors, these new colors in their big, bold format. So I brought out my A4 Hanamule cotton sketchbook, which I have with me on my trip here, and I'm using just the new colors. So they're, you know, I'm restricted to those colors. I just wanted to see them. So that's the Quin Gold Hue, the Autumn Green, and that one is the, oh, what was the new brown? The Cypress Raw Umber Brownish. That one is the, I think the Aquarius Violet or the October 2023. I can't quite remember. They're semi-similar. They're not similar in mass tone, but when you dilute them out, it's a little bit hard to tell them apart, especially when they're new to you. Anyway, Cobalt Blue there, I added in a little bit of that. That's Velvet Black. So you can just see the colors are just really unique. These are a great selection of colors. So yeah, this isn't the greatest painting in the whole universe, but I just wanted to see what these colors look like on a bigger scale. So it was really fun to do that. And adding the blue in right there, I really enjoyed the foreground actually a lot. And maybe not so much the background, but the foreground was sure fun. Look at that velvet black. You can see that in those little lines there by the blue. Oh, and that Quin Gold. So pretty, even though it's a hue, it's beautiful. I'm really looking forward to getting back home and being able to use my really big paper, like my 16 by 20 and my 18 by 24 Arches cotton paper pads, because being able to let these beautiful colors just flow on a big piece of paper, I am really looking forward to that. I taught with big paper in my classes, and I can't wait to use more big paper again. So I tried to keep just the names on the back, but I found when I was using it, I was playing with it a little bit, the palette that is, that I really wanted to know the color names as I was using them. So I did write the color names on this side as well. And I could leave that in there and cover this up, but it makes the mixing space not white anymore. I just am trying to protect it till I can get it home and laminate it. So we'll try and keep it safe, but we'll see. In the meantime, we can update this little travel journal that I started. So I pre-wrote these and I just have to paint some really fun pictures here. Should be great. And I actually brought masking fluid with me, and I decided for this mine door that you can see it's kind of a grate to use masking fluid. And this is the first time in a long time that I've used this Winsor & Newton masking fluid, and it is awesome because it came off this paper a lot easier than that PBO drawing gum that I usually use. So I think I might be a convert over to the Winsor & Newton because it just was easier to use. I think it's too late to change that on my students' supply list for the class that starts the second week of February, but oh well, live and learn. So yeah, I'm just painting some scenes from that day. You can see I'm pulling up some of the pictures on my phone from that day and just trying to get a good idea of what I want to paint. And this part was so cool. There was an entire hillside filled with these rocks. And there were hundreds of rock paintings on hundreds of rocks. It was so cool. You could just walk the hillside and run into a new rock painting. And they're very old. They've been verified, according to the person we were with, that they are actually officially old rock paintings. So it's pretty neat. Back to painting the mine. That Aquarius brown is so perfect for painting rocks and stuff because it has that little bit of texture in it. It's a perfect color for that. It's also a perfect color for like sand, beachy kind of things. So very useful color overall. That's the urban gray in the background of the mine shaft there. And one thing I realized when I was painting this, because later on I needed an orange, and there's no orange in my Roman Szmal palette. So I think I'm going to look up a couple of oranges and probably purchase them later in the year when I have some more stuff to purchase, because they have to come from Jackson's. So I have to have enough stuff to buy from Jackson's in order to make it worthwhile sending it across the sea, right? I think sometimes they have a place they ship a little bit more locally, but usually the package says it's from Sweden or somewhere. And I mean that sincerely. It actually says Sweden several times on packages I received from Jackson's. So anyway, This I used Misty Morning Urban Gray, a little buff titanium in the sky, and then a little bit of the Cobalt Sea Blue and the Cobalt Blue, and then I'm just kind of mixing some colors, the Prussian Blue and the Urban Gray, Prussian Blue with Cobalt Blue to get these distant mountains, and then just adding in some more of the colorful colors as we come closer to the foreground. And then I was trying to get some bushes in there, but realized kind of too late that I missed an opportunity to get some bushes in there because I already put the gray behind it. But I make some darker greens later, and this ends up being one of my most favorite paintings. That Quin Gold that I just put on there really livens up the painting, doesn't it? It's just a beautiful color, and I'm pretty sure that one was the actual Quin Gold, and then I do use the Quin Gold hue a little bit later. And then of course the dark brown you're seeing right now is the Aquarius brown, and I did use a little bit of the transparent brown. They're both really neat colors. The dark in the rocks there is the Urban Gray, and I think I put a little bit of Aquarius Violet in it later too. I'm just flipping through my pictures trying to decide what the next one is going to be for this page here. I decide to break it into two different areas so I can do two different paintings, because there's this one you're seeing here of the river, and then down below I'll paint one when we actually went to the lake. The river view was the most memorable for me, so I definitely wanted to have that in the journal, and then that little lake view was kind of just pretty, and I thought it would be fun to paint. And I just have to tell you guys how enjoyable it is to paint with these Roman Szmal watercolors and this palette. It was just a joy. The one thing you'll have to be really careful of, in my opinion, if you have the Urban Gray in your palette, is how thick it gets really quickly. So it's opaque right from the get-go. So if you need it to be a little bit more transparent, you definitely need to pull a little bit off in your palette and mix it with water, because it makes a really pretty color and it can make a pretty transparent color. But you have to be really aware of how much in your brush, because it just takes the tiniest bit to be super thick and opaque. So a couple of the colors that I think I'm going to run out of quickly, probably the Velvet Black, the Kaput Mortuum, the Autumn Green is just a go-to. It's so pretty. The Aquarius Green is also just a super useful color. Their Ultramarine is just really nice, and it's pretty low in my palette. I know I'm going to use the Aquarius Violet all the time, so I'm probably going to run out of that one. And the Aquarius Brown, I just kept reaching for it again and again and again. So that's going to have to be on the replace list eventually. Not yet. I have plenty in there for now. Probably this entire year I'll be fine. I have so many other watercolors I want to cycle through that unfortunately it may be a while before I get back to this palette. But I like to bring it into my more advanced painting classes and kind of rotate through my palette. So I'll get back to it eventually, but I love them. I love these colors. I love these paints. And doing that in this journal was super enjoyable. And I thought about just leaving the paintings as is, but I did kind of want to put some words in there. The I can never say that, Harquahala Pass one, I didn't really think needed a description or anything, but some of these others just needed a little bit of text to help remind me of what we were doing that day, or like something super special. So I made sure to add that in when the paint was dry enough to paint over the top of or on the side of. Now this was pretty cool. There's a couple of places in the Arizona mountains where I was, where you can drive your UTV or motorcycle or whatever, Jeep probably even could make it up there just fine. And they have golf clubs just sitting there waiting. So I assume you probably have to bring your own balls because they'll probably run out, but you can tee up a ball and you can use any of the golf clubs you want and just hit them off into the far distance off the side of the mountains. So I guess there's at least 3 different places, if I didn't already say that you can do this at. We made it to one of the places, and then one of the UTVs with us was having a massive antifreeze leak, and so we tried to fix it on the trail, but it just wasn't working. We couldn't get into the engine compartment in the right place without taking it further apart. Anyway, we ended up going back to camp after only being at this driving range for just a little bit. So we missed going to the other 2, but it was no big deal. It was great that it was a short day because I actually got back to the camp and I was able to get some work done, so really appreciated that. In my opinion, a day where you can spend a lot of fun time outside, have a great time, and get a little bit of work done, that's a good day. So yeah, I just go ahead and write in the little note about that because, I don't know, my painting on this one wasn't the best, so I thought I better explain what's going on here. I mean, kind of looks like someone's golfing, but kind of not. So yeah, not my greatest painting, but it's just an art journal. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right, I will leave it at here for now because I am out of time. That's fun. So if you want to know how my time is actually going, it is actually the 29th of January when I am finishing this up. So I just did January 19th. That's this day here. So technically I am 10 days behind, but it doesn't matter because it's really fun to go back and revisit these pictures, and painting the pictures makes me relive that day, and it is so nice. So that is one of the really cool things about watercolor art journaling. One of the things I don't like is like this day is really great. This day the painting's just really subpar. These are so-so, they're kind of in the middle, and this one I love, but I was doing them all in one day and not drawing anything ahead of time, and I think, you know, I could change that, and like I could have made one better. I don't know. It's just, they're not all great paintings, and that's okay too. Like this razor's crazy over here, but anyway, I still had fun because of the memories, and I do really like this painting a lot. Probably could have kept going. This video may not have gotten edited and out to you guys in time, but I'm a little undecided on how I want to do this next day here. I really kind of want it to be a 2-day or a 2-page spread, but it's kind of over the hump that way instead of this way. So like when you open this, naturally you open it like this, and the next day to do a 2-day spread, you'd have to open that way. So I think I won't. Or I could, I don't know. That's why I stopped. I had to stop at some point in order for you guys to be able to even see this, because it takes a lot of time to edit a video. I still just love this painting. I interrupted myself because it's so pretty. I really like it. I was excited to do that one. That one, I knew what I wanted to paint and really liked it. And yeah, this one could be better. So anyway, I'm in love with these paints though. Oh my goodness. I just love them so much. And I keep reaching for this Aquarius Violet and the Urban Gray a lot. So thoroughly enjoying these paints, but for the next installment, we will use yet different paints. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I am having a blast with these paints. It's going to be sad to move on, but kind of exciting. I can always go back to them. These are my own rules, right? I'm just trying to use some of the new paints that I received and share them with you guys. So I'm rambling because I'm just excited about paint. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye for now. So I will try not to lose my camera off the table. There's so much mixing. What? What? Hi. Hi. You just slimed my pants.